A good news story to smile about today. If you think you have a lot to be thankful for, it probably pales in comparison to a homeless man here on the Sun Coast who's now off the streets thanks to a recent discovery. It turns out Don Sweet was eligible for veterans assistance, but he didn't know it. As SNN Local News 6 reporter Jim Spiewak explains, it's the help he needed to end his 4 years of homelessness.
Well, Lena, living on the streets for over 3 years, Don Sweet did what he had to do to get by, and he's still getting by, but he's doing it in a much more comfortable way. Don Sweet thought he would die on the streets with nowhere to call home. Since 2008, the 77-year-old has drifted from one homeless camp to another. After going through a divorce, Don fell on hard times.
We got divorced. She got everything, and I ended up with nothing. Having served in the Navy back in the 1950s, Don was always eligible for a government program that helps homeless veterans get into a house. But he never knew it.
I could have been collecting this 15 years ago. And I'm 77 now, and little did I know I could get anything from the VA.
It wasn't until a pastor at a local church inquired about Don's veteran benefits that got the ball rolling. After 3 months of interviews and paperwork, Don was approved for $900 a month to supplement his housing and living costs, an amount he'll receive for the rest of his life.
Money might be the root of all evil, but by God, without it, you can't live.
Don spent the last 3 months at the Salvation Army, just watching the time pass. Now Don's days are spent fishing the canal in his backyard, not worrying about where he'll sleep at night or get his next meal.
I tell you, 6 months ago, I had no idea I'd even be in a place like this. In fact, I had no idea where I'd even be at all.
And now that Don is in his own home, he says one of the things he enjoys the most is his privacy.
I enjoy a little bit of privacy. I've had it most of my life anyhow, and when I had to turn to something like that, I had no other choice.
Don knows he doesn't have much, but says he doesn't need much. He now has a roof over his head and a place to call home.
This is paradise, and it's home.
Oh yeah, and one more thing.
I always have some money in my pocket. That's the main thing. I'm not going to be broke all the time like I used to be.
A life lesson Don learned, better late than never. It truly does pay to serve. And Lena, Don says it's the little things in life that he cherishes, like being able to come home and have a roof over his head, which is a feeling he hasn't had in a long time. Lena?